The spring profile review that Prepory completes for our sophomores and juniors to help prepare them for the coming application seasons has been incredibly impactful. I've seen juniors who were unsure in their writing, were unsure in their application as a whole, their profile as a whole, go through the spring profile review and come out of it so much more confident and secure in the work that they've developed over these past, 3 years that they've been in school. And I think a part of that is by getting this outside feedback from the committee, by building this bond with individuals that they're not seeing, every week, like me. They're really understanding, oh, this is how somebody who knows nothing about me is understanding who I am from my essays, from my transcript, from my extracurriculars, etc. So that kind of committee feedback, I think, is really impactful into building this courage and preparing them to step into, their official application process so much more secure in the fact that they are competitive.
I had a student who didn't know what he wanted to major in, which is very normal for a 17 or 18-year-old. But because it's strategically important to determine a major in your application, we were trying out different possibilities and nothing seemed to fit. So ultimately, through the committee review process, we were able to get incredible feedback that helped us determine that he should apply as an environmental studies major. We were able to reorder his activities list so that it fit his intended major, his new intended major, and he got an early decision to Wake Forest.
Yeah, so committee review is interesting. Trying to think back. What I remember was that it, brought in a new set of eyes to sort of the writing that Jade and I had worked on, and I appreciated the difference in perspective. I remember there were a handful of essays that we had decided to sort of rewrite post-committee review, simply because while we had thought initially that I think that they were a good idea and reflect who I was, sort of having the holistic perspective of the committee, reviewing my entire application in one piece was really helpful. Because when we're working on the essays, we're focusing on the one specific thing at a time, and it's really hard to sort of take that step back and get the bird's eye view, and committee review assisted us in sort of getting that different perspective.
100%. What I love about committee review is that it really gives us the chance to see things through fresh eyes in particular, because students and coaches alike get very attached to what's being produced. We've put so many hours into it. We know the story behind it. We know why it's there. But at the end of the day, what we know subconsciously isn't what the AO knows. And so having the committee go through it and see it from the lens of an admissions officer really sets apart the application and can help us make it pop in ways that, gives us a fresh start with it almost, and really focuses on the whole narrative and understanding what's the composite image of the student beyond what I already knew about Jason and beyond what Jason knows about himself. And so it helps us understand how he's going to be received.
Mm-hmm. A way that SPR and CR, Spring Portfolio Review and Committee Review, have really helped my students, especially through the writing. It's hard to say one time because it happens all the time for me, where students see our excellent writing team, our excellent coaches put in input on their writing, and it helps them to see different areas of feedback that I just can't really touch on because I've read the same essay 90 times. My information tends to be the same after like the 89th time. So seeing different coaches input on specifically the writing helps my students be better writers because they're seeing different perspectives. And once they get that feedback, I synthesize it because it can be a lot. I try to see what are the major themes of improvement that the student can work on, whether it be tone, whether it be punctuation, whether it be sentence structure, whether it be anything in between. I first look at the document. I first look to see what is a big theme and try to impart that main theme to the student. I want the student to learn based on this bigger picture problem, bigger picture feedback, how can I put that into the smaller details?